Hey guys, this is Brian Gray, and I'm going to show you now how to set up a website for a small offline business, and it can be either for your own business or if you're going to be creating websites for offline companies or small businesses and you want to know how to set up a website for them easily. I'm going to show you how to do that here now. We have already a bunch of different categories in the templates to help you out, so some main ones that you can see here are hospitality, real estate, weddings and events, restaurants, and photography. So to get started, you can browse through the different options and try to find a template that works best for you. And I think for this demo site, I am going to create one for a dentist. So I'm just going to quickly flip through some of the different templates, and I'll just check out this one. Okay, so this one will work for my basic template. I'll just edit it. Okay, so now inside of here, the first thing I'm going to want to do is replace my header image. For graphics, you can either check out Pixabay. Pixabay is free, so if you don't want to be spending any money yet, you can always check out Pixabay. So since we're doing a dentist one, we want a picture of a person with a good smile. Pixabay is a good free option, but you won't always find exactly what you want. I used to use Pixabay, but now I use Graphic Stock, and Graphic Stock is, I pay $99 a year for Graphic Stock, and I am very happy with it. I get vectors, illustrations, photos, a lot of different stuff from it. So in Graphic Stock, I'll just look for a picture real quick. So I'll download this one, and I'll go back over here, replace my image, find it. Okay, now if I want to have it fixed, so it's a little bit cooler effect, or I can also try parallax. Actually, let's go with fixed. Now I want to move this so it's not covering her teeth, because we want to be able to see her nice white shiny teeth. So I'll come over here, go to layout. If I wanted to change the basic look of it like that, then I could have my layout like that, but I prefer to have the opt-in on top, but we're going to move it over to the side like that. Now if you want to change what is showing up here, like if you don't want the icon there, then you can remove it that way. If you don't want the subtitle there, you can remove it. So you can add and remove things. If you would like to add more to the form, you can always click on the plus button and then come here for add field. Now let's pretend it's in Chicago. Let's go ahead and add a subtitle, but we're going to move it down, edit it. Now you wouldn't have to have an opt-in form here. You could actually get rid of that if you wanted. Now for a dentist website, they're going to want to have a find us, so people can find the location and probably want an about. So we can leave those there, and then later we can link them to the find us page and the about page. Reviews are always good. So if there are any reviews you can always add more here in the slideshow settings. I always have a very difficult time with those combination of words. Just by click on add a slide, and then you can add more testimonials, can manage them. You see I've got 2 here. I don't really need 2, so I'll delete that one. But that's just how you can add and manage your slides. For the slideshow, you can change it here to autoplay or manual. Duration between the slides, I suggest just leaving it to autoplay so the reviews scroll through automatically. We don't really need this opt-in form down here. Let's go ahead and replace it with a map. I'll go with that one. And to edit the map, we just put in the address of the location right here and save it. Here you have different options for how the map is going to look. So you can add filters to the whole thing by coming here. So if you wanted to even change the map style a little bit more using these filters, you can do that. You have the opacity. And then you just edit the address. If you wanted to replace the logo, you can replace the logo there or remove it. Let's go to our menu settings. Right now we have it's on default by hidden. So let's put it up at the top. Make it fixed. Actually, yeah, let's leave it overlay like that. That's good. Now here in our menu, let's change our business title. And let's add a logo. And let's make our menu options bigger. For this Find Us, one thing that you can do is when you link it, you can make it scroll to and then select the map. And then when you create the About, you can link that to the main page. So already our landing page is looking pretty good. If we wanted to add the dentist profile, what we could do is come here and we could either add the bio and add quick bio about the company or the different dentist, or you could create a new page on the About Us with the bios. If you wanted to have just a quick thing of the different dentist or the staff, then this is a good option. And let's move it down. All right, then the next thing you might want for this kind of page is services, our services. So first let's save it. Then we'll come over and add a new page. And you can see here we have one already for services. We could also use a gallery to showcase the different services, or gallery number 2. Check out this one. Then it'll ask you if you want to add the link to your menu. It's always a good idea. Okay, so it's a bit boring like this, so let's improve it a bit. Let's add ourselves another header, which could also be a slideshow. So I'll grab another picture for this header. Yeah, we don't need that one. Well, actually, I don't really like these icons so much, so we'll just delete those. And let's add a gallery. Or actually, let's check out the other services options. Let's try that one. All right, so I want these actually to be bigger and stand out a bit more. So let's move it to 3. Item height. And for the layout, let's go stretched. We only really need 3, so let's delete that one. Done. Now for these, if you don't want them to be darker like that, you can always click on these different options, or you can come down to filters. And add the different filters, and you can see it'll add them to all of them. We'll want that to stand out a bit more. And go back inside here. If we wanted to add subtitles to each of them, we can add our subtitles here. And if you want icons, you can add the icons as well in there. I'm not going to go through and change all of the images in here because I already showed you how you can easily change the images, and I'm not going to change all the text. That would take way too long. I'm just going to set up all the pages so you can see how it's done. So we have our home page and we have our services page. You could always add more sections to the services page by coming here if you wanted to add pricing for the different services. different kind of slideshows for the different, like to go below it, showing off different showcases of the clients. So let's save it by updating the temp URL. If you want to view it and see what it looks like, you can always click on it there. I'm going to wait. So now let's add an About Us page. This one looks okay. Right, then here you could add pictures of the different dentists that work there, the different employees, then add another section, add a text block in there to add some more text about the company. And let's go ahead and add a location again, but we can use a different style map. Let's use this first one this time. And let's go ahead and add a contact us form. We'll go down to forms. Now let's say they want to have a page where people can schedule an appointment. And you see here how now it's disappeared. That's because the text is set to white except for when it's on hover. So to fix that, we're just going to click on any of them and manage menu buttons. You can change the menu background there, so you can see how easy it is to change the menu background. And let's change the, leave the type like that. Go to color. So right now the text is white on idle, so let's change that to gray. And background. But anyway, you can play with the menu colors and effects and how they look. These ones are going to be the different effects that take place, and it's useful because it shows you here how it's going to look. So you can see the shadow. If we add shadow, you can see now it has a shadow under each of those boxes. If we add color fade, here's where we change the color fade effect. So we can do the color fade or the color slide. We'll save it again before we move on. Now let's go back to our services and let's add a Google Calendar to show available times, so people can easily see what times they can schedule if they want an appointment. Actually, I don't really like that menu now. I'm going to go back and change it after I add the calendar. So we'll add a part for book an appointment. First, we'll add a text. And this text is where we're going to have just tell people to book an appointment. And let's center that one. Actually, let's go ahead and add the subtitle. Just add the office hours. Okay, now to add the calendar, you're going to have to first have created a calendar in Google Calendars, which is free. And then inside of Google Calendars, come over here to Settings, and then Calendars. Pick the calendar you want, and then here you're going to see Embed this calendar. You're going to copy that. Come over to your website, add a new option, come down to Elements, and add HTML. Now to add your HTML, you just click it, select all of this, paste your code that you got for your calendar, and save it. And then you'll see the calendar show up just like that, and you just need to drag and drop or drag this to the right size so it shows your whole calendar. You can change your calendar settings and looks and everything in here, but I'm not going to go into details about the Google Calendar. I'm just showing you how to easily embed it inside of a site so people can see a schedule or appointments that have already been taken or available appointment times. It's a handy little thing to show. The good thing is your client doesn't have to access the website in order to update the calendar. They just update their calendar inside of Google Calendars, and the calendar on the website will automatically be updated. If you want to change the page color to change the background on that, you can do it like that. Also, one option you have inside of it at HTML is center. If you don't center it, it's going to be on the left-hand side like that. So I suggest leaving it centered. Now, if you have your own opt-in forms or anything else that's HTML code or an iframe, that's how you add it to the website, the exact same way that I just added the Google Calendar. You can do it just like that. Same goes for adding your retargeting pixels or any pixels that you have. You can add them to your page in any HTML code form. So let's fix up our menu a bit. Maybe we'll change it to fixed. Take that away. Let's change our text to white. Okay, let's leave it like that. So now we've got the home page, services page, about us page. As I said, you can add the pricing on the services page, but a lot of times people like to have their own page for pricing. So that's very easy to add as well. We'll just pick any one of these and add pricing. No, we're not going to need that, but before we delete that section, we'll create our own so we know that we have enough room. And we'll start with the header. Let's just pick something from the media center real quick for this one. So now we have our header. We can delete this one. And then we're just going to add our pricing section. different options for pricing that you can easily go through and choose which style you like best for that. And then you can always add and remove things inside of here. Of course, there are a whole lot of different options for what you can use for how you show the pricing. You don't have to do it this way. This way it's just set up very easy. And of course, you should always add a description about what each of the things include in the pricing. So again, save it since we created the new page. All right, now let's take a look to see what it looks like so far. All right, page is okay. That's good with the calendar for appointments. About us. Now this could look a whole lot better with a better header, but I've already showed you how to make nice headers, so I'm not going to show you for every single page. So that's it. That's pretty much an entire website for a business or service. And all the other pages that you could want to add or you would ever need to add are already included in here. So even if you want to get an idea of what else to add, you got posts for your blog post. So if the business wants to have a blog, let's go ahead and add a blog page. But instead of making it a post, let's just make it this one. And the reason I chose that is because it's only got one frame that I have to delete. So I'm just going to add my header and then delete this one and then add my blog. All right, and let's make the blog kind of the same as the other one with the larger images. And you can always switch things up by going to Masonite or fixed or regular. If you have different sized images, Masonite's going to look really cool for your blog post. We'll just leave it to regular for now. And then when you're ready to create the blog post, all you got to do is click on read more and then click on edit link, and then that will generate the blog post and take you to the blog post. Before you do that, make sure you update your temp URL, make sure you save it, because if you don't, then those changes that you made on that page might not take place. And the only thing left would be the social share buttons, which are already down here, and you can just add your links inside of there. But these are a bit close together, so let's change the spacing. Like that. And save it again. Every time I go away from the page, I always save it just to make sure that all the saves have taken place. All the changes have been saved. So now we've got the blog, the pricing, about us, home services. Let's add a pop-up. But let's make sure we're on the home page before we add the pop-up. So in settings, we'll go to page settings. apps, and pop-up. And if you want to have it an exit pop-up or a timer pop-up, you can select between them. Select pop-up. And then here we have different pop-up presets. So for a dentist, they'd probably like to have something like a coupon. First timer, get 20% off, get the offer. That's a nice thing to have. And then the email replies would go here. You'd enter the email that you want it to go to. If you wanted to add your own opt-in form here, you just come here and add your HTML code and then add the code for your own opt-in form for your own autoresponder there. So actually I went away from that before I showed you the other settings on it. So let's go back inside the pop-up. And you can see here you have the timer on scroll or on exit. So we'll have it after they've been on the page for 3 seconds, kind of like a welcome gate. Here's the dimensions. If you want to increase the dimensions or change the position. So now it's just bottom right, but I like keeping it centered so that they have to see it before they see any of the other content. All right, so we got our pop-up. And one more thing that could be very, very interesting for any business is, again, we'll come to page settings and apps. And this one here, chat. This is a support chat for online and offline chat. So if people have questions or if they have concerns or want to book an appointment or open a support ticket, all of that can be done through this chat. And all you got to do is click on it and the instructions are inside. I'm not going to go through all of it because there's already a video in the training about how to set up chat. So you can just check out that video on the training page for setting up your chat. But this is an excellent option to have for any offline business. And during Christmas time, you can add snow to the page. A topper is a nice thing to add as well. And what a topper will do, I can change the color. What a topper is going to do is, you see down here that popped up. When they're not at the top, they can easily go to the top by clicking on the topper, and we go to the top. See how that works? It's pretty cool. So that's convenient so people don't have to scroll as much, and so they can easily get back up to the top and opt in if that's what they want to do. And then of course you're going to want to add your page settings, set it visible to search engines, add your keywords, description, favicon. The favicon is going to be the image that shows up in the tab of the browser, the tiny little image for the websites, and Google Analytics ID to track the traffic. And the social image preview is when the URL for the page is shared on social media, what is the image that will show up. So this is very important to add because you want to make sure that the correct image shows up when the link for the page is shared. And that, my friends, is it. And you can see I've pretty much got everything set up for this whole business site in under an hour. And that was going very slowly and taking the time to explain and walk you through things. If I wasn't going through and explaining things, I could have set this up much, much faster and even started to fill out a lot more of the text and replace the images with the correct ones. Probably from start to finish for a site for a business like this, if they had their own images and text that they wanted, I could set up the site in an hour, no problem, hour and a half, and 2 hours to test everything, make sure everything's good to go. So you can see how this would be a very lucrative service to offer because you can charge people a couple $100s per website easy. That's no problem. And then you throw in the hosting and the other services like the chat and the pop-ups and the autoresponder and the other services that you can offer, then you can really start to make some good money from selling websites to people. And you can see how easy it is to make. When you're ready to connect their domain, you just connect the domain of the customer and their site is live and theirs. If they cancel the contract or something, you can disconnect the domain and then they can put their website on whatever site they want, but they will not be able to keep the same website that you built with Rebel Website Builder. That remains on our servers that can't be transferred off because it would lose functionality and people wouldn't be able to edit it. It doesn't use normal HTML like sites because we want the option for everything to always be 100% mobile responsive regardless of what you do on the page. And we want to make sure that nothing will ever break or have any conflicts or issues with plugins or anything like that. So it's a great option for quickly and easily setting up websites for pretty much any type of business. And I just did a dental clinic just as an example because that's what popped into my mind when I was trying to think about small businesses. But as I said, you can do it for anything. All right, thanks a lot for checking this out. If you have any questions at all, or if there's another particular type of site that you would like me to set up besides a small business site or an affiliate site, because I've already done videos on how to set up an affiliate site and how to set up a small business site. And if there's another type of site you'd like to see me set up, then just let me know and I'll make the video for it. Thanks a lot for checking this out, and I will see you soon.